Hey family, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Cut Nice 50. Before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. Thanks for tuning in, and let's go ahead and jump right into it. Today, man, I already did a video. I'm gonna upload it shortly, talking about the upcoming athletes, changing sponsors. Fuad's public announcement that he made. This is gonna be an in-depth breakdown of his two athletes. Now, the other one, the second one has decided to leave. As far as we got Justin Shearer and Nathan Epler. Both of them has decided to leave their contracts early. I think I'm gonna let y'all hear from they point of view, their side. They made some claims on their own videos discussing why they left and no hard feelings and stuff like this and that. So I'm gonna let y'all think about it. But myself personally, as a business owner, um, nobody does what Fuad does as far as contracts and having them flex. The flexibility for an athlete to lose or leave their contract early. Nobody does this in the industry. Most companies out there, and I know a lot of them, you thinking about they want you to have a big following on social media. You got to be, you got to make business sense if that makes sense to you. They're not signing athletes who are unknown or don't have a mass following or is not an influential person. It just doesn't happen in this league right now. And as far as Fuad, he takes chances on athletes. So I don't know if this is a good thing or bad thing. I also, just to give my personal opinion, man, I believe that any athlete, I don't care who you are, what your situation is, you got to do what's best for you and your family. So with that said, I agree or I understand some of the facts that goes into play with some of these athletes leaving. They they weigh and outweigh the pros and cons just to see what's going on, and they make a decision. Ultimately, they got to live with it as their life. So I understand it from that point of view. But from the business aspect, nobody does what Fuad does with Hostile, having the flexibility. The athlete's unhappy, he lets them leave the contract. Regardless of the terms, if it's a year contract, 2, 3 years, but generally it wasn't built for multi years in the contracts without other stipulations because anything can happen. You get injured, other things can take place. But as far as these two athletes, they are just I think one was in 212, so he might have competed 1 year, but they are not well known names. I put it like that. Justin Shear just got pro. He never stepped on a pro stage. Only thing he did was winning his division at a national championship. So imagine you're a young athlete, you just got your pro card and you immediately get signed to a sponsor with guaranteed the salary and stuff like that. And you really don't, you're not doing anything. And then they take a chance and, just putting you on the podcast, helping your name, expose your business, everything else got going on. Now, Justin Shear is a little different because he has business, he has money. So it's not about that per se, but it's about other athletes. So I look at it as a domino effect. Fuad's the only one doing these things as far as in the supplement industry, allowing these athletes to leave. Nobody else is doing it. So would this end up souring Fuad from taking a chance on athletes? Probably so eventually. I myself personally, if my company end up taking off to that extent, I wouldn't hire or I wouldn't take a chance on unknown athletes like that. My main thing would be, since I'm more focused on health, nutrition, longevity, and stuff like that, I'll be focusing on like trainers or nutritionists or dietitians, stuff like that, in that type of realm as far as athletes signing. But as far as professional athletes, I'll be skeptical to hire somebody who's just new to the game or who's not influential, just because of these things right now we see happening. Because you do take a risk, you take a large risk hiring unknowns. They're not bringing nothing to the table. As far as business sense, they can be great individuals and stuff like that. So I believe in that all day long. But I think Fuad probably needs to kind of split it a little bit. He has his athletes, and most companies you never see them because they don't have podcasts and stuff like that. So they don't hype their athletes up with more exposure and stuff like that. They might show pictures on their websites or social media reels and everything else on social media or on their outlets, platforms, or whatever. But you never see them talking or you get to know them as a person on like podcasts. Ford's podcast and grew to one of the top podcasts in the industry right now. So I think he need to have a different contract for that. So if an athlete does leave, they still can be kind of tied to the podcast, or vice versa. If they not happy with the supplement contract, he can sign up for either one. As far as just the podcast thing, you can come up with different agreements because he done had plenty athletes who's on the podcast who is not with his company. So I think that'll probably be wise. So it wouldn't hurt his view on taking chances on athletes because it's amazing. Like I said, nobody does this. And it'll help other people, in the long run. I myself would say if I did my podcast take off to something like that, I have to have two different contracts. It's your supplement contract, and I'll be I'll probably do an introduction maybe on the podcast, stuff like that, get to know them. But it's how if I was as big as how Fua's different segments on this podcast channel is, I'd be skeptical to put new athletes in the mix with your old your veterans in your podcast. I say it like that. So because you don't want to take away the spotlight from them, but you give them more exposure to those athletes who can, in turn, you make more opportunities. That's just business and stuff like that. But then they'll be unthankful or unwilling to stick out the rest of their contract with it. So I think the podcast is a simple fix. Just share your thoughts. Let me know what y'all think. You think him bringing on unknown athletes, taking chances on them, and they haven't really proved themselves in the bodybuilding scene yet is a good thing or bad thing? Or what would you do if you had a company? Would you sign unknown athletes who has no influence, who hasn't stepped on the bodybuilding stage, who hasn't done nothing for your company yet, and it's a risk and probably a financial strain just to get them with your company at first? Would you take that chance? So that's why I tell people to just think about that for a second. Now, as far as the terms of contracts, how would your term of your contracts be? Would you do a year contract or would you do 2 years? I remember signing with a couple of sponsors back in the day. Now you're going to sign a year contract minimum, and they might have bonuses or perks in there if you reach certain things, like they have a tier level and other things like that going on. Now you rarely see sponsorships for athletes. I know some top Olympians out there in men's physique, classic physique, and even bodybuilding who doesn't have a sponsor right now. But you see things like Fuad taking chances on unknown athletes, and we already have pro athletes who's there who doesn't have, no kind of sponsor, no kind of backing. So it is unpopular. We know it's the age of social media and stuff like that. So that does matter when it comes to business and outlook. So Fuad's a little different because he has his segment. He has the podcast. We get to know these guys. We get to like them, like their personality, like what they bring to the table as far as that. But as far as the bodybuilding saying, we have no clue because we never seen them. They're not doing anything for bodybuilding. They're doing stuff for the podcast, but I think it should be separate from what their contract bring when it comes to the supplements and stuff like that. So I'm gonna let y'all hear from Justin Shear and then from Nathan Epler on their statements. Y'all, then I get back to you. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you think about the whole situation. Athletes leaving their contract early, is it good or bad for the companies? Would you, as an owner of a business, a supplement brand, would you be willing to sign unknown athletes who never stepped foot on the IFBB Pro stage or who have competed in a different division? I think Nathan did 212, but he wasn't in the top 10 or nothing like that, the Olympia. I think he was, I forgot what rank he was because I really didn't know him too much because I follow just a rare few in 212. So I really didn't know this guy too much unless the podcast came into play. So a lot of us, say you are fans of the sport, you're a fan of bodybuilding. The league is too big for you to know every athlete. I follow a lot of women divisions, sometimes more than the 212 athletes, and there's a lot of guys. But generally the top five, and even somebody if I like, they could be at the bottom. They could not even be placing at the Olympia, but I like what they stand for, the message they give. Like one bodybuilder, I guess this guy, Jamaican Tank, Phil Flahar, I like that guy. and he's never. I don't even think he stepped foot on the Olympia stage yet because he's an older gentleman, and he's still progressing. He looks good. He's putting in the work, and I believe he's a pastor or something like that also. So it can be people like that who you like or you follow who are in bodybuilding, male, female divisions, but they're not a big name in the industry per se. They have good talent, and I think anybody who's gonna made it pro has a good potential and a good talent. It's just that they're not in a place yet where they're winning or dominating shows because they have whatever flaws the judges tell them that they have and stuff like that. So that's when it comes into play. This is just my mindset, my perceptions of the industry. Like I said, being behind the scenes over 20 some plus years, man. This I love bodybuilding, growing up on it, and just seeing how things have changed as far as y'all know we got this muscle and fitness contest. It's probably be over. I don't know if I'm gonna make this first cut off around, and some things you just can't control. You can only control what you can um put forth. Like me, I'm working out, I'm training, I'm giving it everything I got. So this is I'm happy to be nominated. I'd be happy even been Mr. 2023, Mr. Health and Fitness. But I don't think it's in the cards yet for me. But this is just extra motivation for me to keep pushing even harder. Birth of my son and this timing, I think, is always perfect for everything. Now, I'm 4 weeks into this transformation. Like I said, I went vegan, so I'm 4 months in. 4 months into this vegan lifestyle. I think I started in February. So I turned vegan in February after 40 plus years of being a meat eater. So that's a whole different transformation for me. Then the birth of my son, he just hit 6 months not too long ago. So you can imagine everybody has their own situations, busy lifestyle. Something always takes precedent over other things that you may or may not want to do. But that's just life. We just try to find balance, which is the hardest thing that you can do, is trying to find balance for yourself, trying to keep yourself motivated, keep yourself going for whatever goal you want to reach. I just say, just keep doing it, stick with it. I'm 4 weeks in, and my body is starting to respond now. My muscle memory is kicking back in. And just starting off, man, like I said, the first couple of weeks, I was weak. I didn't have the stamina working out, knees aches, body ache, stuff like that was going through, but I didn't push it. I lightened up the weight, started focusing on technique, form, and actually repetitions. I started just working on trying to do um, different exercises to get my body used to just to change up and the resistance that you need to have if you want your body to change. I didn't overdo the cardio and stuff like that because that's going to bring more body aches. But I do believe that weight training is one of the best things you can do for your body. Like I say, all comes down to muscle mass. We all know that it does affect aging. It affects your metabolism. It affects your caloric intake. I mean, all that stuff goes into play when you're talking about nutrition, health, fitness, finding a balance for your lifestyle so you can live live a long and healthy life. It's about longevity. So me, this 2023 Mr. Health and Fitness man has made me. I'm excited now, and I lost that feeling. You rough nights, not sleeping, trying to get my son to sleep, and now he's teething. Your mentality goes to different places. Like I said, I never give up trying to go for my goals and stuff like that. I just end up being more reserved because I was not able to work out like I needed to, not able to sleep like you needed to. But this vegan life has also helped me because my body is requiring less sleep. I'm not getting all those sugars in my diet and stuff like that. And eventually, I want to get away from any processed foods, vegan or not, because if you know anything about vegan processed foods, it's more salty than anything. Yes, it can have less calories, less sugars and stuff like that, but processed foods is still processed foods. I mean, I don't care what type, placebo, vegan, keto, all of it is not made, it's not naturally grown. It's, somebody else put together and you've got other chemicals and whatever the case may be in there. It's not like fresh or stuff like that. So eventually by next year, I want to be in a place where all my food is pretty much organic. Either I'm growing it or I have a local contact like a farmer, or I do go to the farmers market and stuff like that, but I want to have relationships with farmers itself, like overseas, man. I used to, like it's even when I ate meat or whatever the case may be overseas, the food was better for me. The food was fresh and stuff like that. I came back into the States with that was 2014. Yeah, I think 2014 I got back to the States. And for a year, I couldn't eat no food pretty much in America. I ended up starting back cooking and I got all my skills back. I had to cook my food. I couldn't eat no beefs or nothing like that. I just ended up slowly cooking my own stuff, and I got back to eating like fish. So it was more fish, boneless chicken, and stuff like that. But before I left, I could eat whatever the case may be. So it was just telling me, I was going for a couple of years also. So my body had detoxed from all the chemicals and whatever goes into American food, and I think that also helped my body. I don't compare myself to anybody else out there because nobody, like I said, walk your shoes. Nobody live your life. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what kind of ailments that your body may or may not have, but there's always a different way to do things when it comes to your health. Sometimes you got to change it up. I don't care if it's a diet or getting away from sugars, but start somewhere. If you actually want to have your body change and focus on longevity, cut out some of the sweets for a while, 2-3 weeks, because your body deserves it. We're not supposed to eat the way we eat. That's just it. So we're hurting our own self, whether you think so or not. Yes, food is delicious. We all know it, the junk food and stuff like that, but we're not supposed to be eating that way. You can eat healthy. That's why I designed different ebooks and meal plans from keto, flexible meals and stuff like that. Now I'm working with people who doing desserts and sugar-free options, 2 or 3 ingredient stuff. And you still can cheat. So it's different ways to do it, like I say. And, we only get better the older we get. We start to understand more balance and more knowledge in health and fitness and whatever, about life. I love that process. So I myself never shy away from my age and stuff like that, because I think I'm still strong. I'm still healthy. I'm still doing what I got to do. And I want to be here for the long haul. Like I said, I got a 6-month-old now who is the youngest, and I wasn't planning on having any more kids, but that's what happens in life. Things change and they evolve, and I couldn't be more excited for the future. So, with that being said, man, y'all share your thoughts. Let me know what you think. If you struggle with anything, don't forget you can always reach out to me. You can check out Evolve Nutrition Life, free ebooks. Different ebooks that you got in there. Oh, you got a question, man, just comment down below. Let me know what you think. If you're going through something, just reach out to me. We can always connect on health, fitness. Let us debate 101@gmail.com. Just shoot me a message, man, and I'll be in contact with you. So I appreciate y'all supporting on the journey. Let's dive into these 2 videos by Nathan Epler and Justin Shear or Shire, however he pronounces his name. I wish them both the best of luck. And whatever endeavor or whatever path they choose, with leaving that. And I wish Hosstile the best, man. I wish for don't give up hope on these new athletes. Sometimes you have to revamp and do different things, just a different way, but don't let these athletes leaving early affect you, your business. Your business taken out is one of the best right now. And you probably never knew it'd be like that, but your influence in your podcast and now in the world, as far as athletes looking to sign with you, making an impact, you're actually changing up bodybuilding. You're making it better. You're giving opportunities to athletes who never would have had them. And, it's rare and still today that these athletes would get this chance. So keep doing what you're doing, brother. We appreciate you. And y'all, let me know what you think. Let's go.
Okay. Well, it has been a pretty hectic 48 hours since the news was dropped that I am no longer with Hosstile Supplements. So I wanted to come on here and address the elephant in the room and address you guys, share my side of the story. But most importantly, I want to get on here and I want to thank Fuad and Summer and everyone at Hosstile Supplements for everything they've done for me over the last few years. Now, they picked me up pretty early on in my career, actually at the very beginning of my career, and I've had a great time and a great experience with them. to traveling and doing expos and training with the team and team dinners and, creating friendships and bonds and, all of that stuff that comes with being part of a team. These things all mean a lot to me, and I do cherish those memories, and it's been a very valuable experience for me. But all good things must come to an end, I suppose, and it is our time to part ways. Now, I just want to come on here and address a few things that I've been seeing, a few narratives, and kind of clear the air on some of the stuff that I'm hearing. I would say that loyalty seems to be a bit of a buzzword in the comment sections right now. And, you guys have made it clear that you're here, you support me, and I know a lot of you look up to me, and I'm here to tell you guys that it is okay to not be loyal to something that doesn't feel right for you. And I encourage all of you, if something doesn't feel right, it's okay to walk away from something if you know in your heart it is not the right thing for you. Now, you're never wrong for doing what's right. Do what's right for you and your family, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So, we have had some disagreements in our professional ideologies. A lot of what they subscribe to, it doesn't necessarily align with me. And that's okay. They can operate the way they wish to operate. And I have chosen to not be involved. Now, here comes the issue of the contract. Obviously, I've seen a lot of comments about, me just signing a 5-year contract, what happened to this long-term commitment. And just to be honest with you guys, I never signed that 5-year contract. And I don't say that to say anything disparaging against Fouad. I think I say that mostly just to demonstrate that you guys don't know the whole story. And not everyone is going to have the full scope of, our professional arrangements. And a lot of these things are very private. Now, Fouad and I had discussed terms after that, and we have addressed this issue personally. And those discussions will, remain private. And I hope you guys can respect that. The friendship with Fouad and myself, I think approaching this, we both made it very clear that was priority number one. We wanted to maintain that friendship, and we wanted to be able to separate the friendship and the professional discussion and make sure that those two things don't overlap. Now, that's easier said than done. We've become very close, and these things aren't easy, but ultimately, we couldn't see eye to eye on some stuff, and, that's okay. It doesn't always work out, and I really do wish them the best of luck in everything they have going on. It's an amazing company with a great trajectory, and I have no doubt they'll continue to do great things. But unfortunately, I will be moving forward. Now, one thing that seems to be recurring in the comment section is the podcast. Now, you guys have grown to know me and become invested in myself and my relationships on the podcast, and deservingly so. You guys want answers, and some people are upset, some people are concerned, and Fouad has made me aware that I do have a place on the podcast if I decide to come back. Now, I think right now we're just allowing the dust to settle a little bit and taking it day by day, but I'm sure you will see me on that podcast sometime soon. But that being said, now other opportunities are available to me. You guys will see me on other podcasts. I have some other things planned and other future endeavors that I'm excited about. But again, I just wanted to communicate to you guys and let everyone know I appreciate your support. Everyone that's been reaching out to me, commenting, and letting me know you support me. I value that support a lot, and I appreciate everybody. And I know a lot of these reasonings and discussions sound vague, but again, there's some things that are going to remain private, and I'm just hoping everyone can continue to respect that. And if you choose to support me moving forward, I greatly appreciate it. And if you've made it this far, thank you very much. And I'm not going anywhere. All right. So thank you guys.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's been a minute since I gave you guys some updates, so I wanted to get on here today and just give you a little life update about what's going on with Nathan Epler, as well as an update on the Hosstile situation. So I will not be re-signing with Hosstile Supplements going forward. Everything was totally fine. We just really couldn't come to an agreement on the contract. And that's perfectly fine. I don't wish anything but the best to Hosstile and Fuad, Summer, all the guys over there. I'm super appreciative of the opportunities, and we had a lot of great times, a lot of fun times that I will cherish forever. But going forward, I will not be re-signing with Hosstile. With that being said, I am going to be using this time to continue to grow my businesses. The gym, American Muscle Factory, is doing fantastic. We have right around 1,300 members. We've been open for 11 months, which is fantastic. We are about to have our 1-year anniversary party. That's going to be on May 20th. We also just brought in like 10 new pieces of equipment to AMF that we have had a great response from all the members. Everyone's loving all of the equipment. As you guys know, we did put saunas in a few months ago. The gym has just been absolutely fantastic. A lot of work for sure, but very rewarding, and we've just been having such a great time really building such a tight niche community at AMF and watching it flourish and grow. It's been absolutely amazing. Other than that, I am continuing to grow my physique, and right now we are sitting around 245 to 250 pounds in the morning. Very, very pleased with that, going into a little health and recovery phase for the next 2 months or so. As far as competitions go for me, I will be looking to compete in the open division in 2024. Probably looking to do something late spring, early summer of 2024. So around this time or a little bit later than this next year, and really look to make a statement. I think we're putting on great size right now, really keeping the conditioning in check. And I think we're going to have a really good package come next year, and I'm excited for you guys to see it. Lastly is Epler Elite Training and Nutrition, my coaching business. I am so thrilled with how that is going. Got some wonderful coaches on board with me as well. Leon, Tyler Wilson, David, and Matt Gozdecki. The boys, we're having such a great time helping so many people. So if you guys have any needs for coaching, whether that's contest prep, off-season, lifestyle coaching, just goal coaching, anything you guys need, we can help you with that. We're so happy to do it. So that's a little update on everything, guys. I wanted to catch you up on things. Life has been crazy, hectic, very, very busy with both the businesses and my own bodybuilding endeavors as well. I can't thank you guys enough for all the support. It seriously means so much to me, and I wanted to let you guys know as well, I think we're going to be firing up my YouTube page, so you guys can find that. It's Epler Elite on YouTube. I may end up changing the name, but we are thinking about getting that fired back up as well to keep bringing you guys some great content. So stay tuned for more coming up, guys. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk soon.
I decided to start my own supplement company.